Welcome to your deep dive today.
Oh, okay.
We're going to be cracking open some verses from the first book of Kings.
Right on.
Yeah, we're going to try to uncover a story of faith,
Okay.
obedience,
Yeah.
and maybe a few surprising twists.
Ooh, I like twists.
This one's been echoing through centuries for a reason, so get ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're starting with a prophet,
Okay.
Elijah the Tishbite from Gilead.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Yeah, and he walks right up to King Ahab. And let me tell you, he does not mince words.
Ah.
No, he predicts a drought.
Oh, wow.
So severe, it'll only end when he says so.
That's a bold statement.
It is talk about a power move.
Right, but
Yeah.
you have to remember, this was during a time when idol worship was rampant,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
especially under Ahab's rule.
Yeah.
So, Elijah's prophecy could be seen as a direct challenge
Oh, yeah.
to the king's authority and a call to return to the true God.
Oh, it's like a spiritual showdown.
It is.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
God tells Elijah to hide by the brook Cherith and promises to take care of him.
Okay.
And this is where it gets really wild.
Oh, I love when it gets wild.
Ravens start bringing him food.
Ravens.
Ravens. What do you make of that?
It's a striking image.
Right.
It really is. Ravens are often associated with death and bad omens.
Oh, yeah.
In many cultures.
Yeah, true.
But here, they're instruments of divine provision.
It's true.
It's a powerful reminder that God can work through anything,
Yeah.
even creatures we might consider unsettling.
Right.
Plus, in some traditions, ravens are seen as messengers.
Ooh.
Could this be a subtle hint that Elijah is a messenger too?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That's like a hidden message within the story.
Right.
Okay, so things don't stay easy for long.
Uh-oh, here we go.
As the drought gets worse, the brook dries up.
Okay.
God sends Elijah to Zarephath,
Zarephath.
a town near Sidon,
Okay.
and this location is significant.
I was going to say, why Zarephath?
Zarephath wasn't just any town. It was a Phoenician city known for its worship of Baal.
Wow. Okay.
Sending Elijah there, right into the heart of idol worship, was a bold move.
It was.
It's as if God was saying,
Yeah.
my power extends even to the places that seem furthest from me.
Ooh, I like that.
Right, that really adds a layer of tension to the story.
It does.
So God tells Elijah that a widow in Zarephath will provide for him.
Okay.
Elijah finds her gathering sticks, getting ready to cook what she believes is her last meal.
Oh, no.
She's preparing to die with her son because there's just no food left.
Wow.
It's a heartbreaking scene.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it's a scene that emphasizes the devastating impact of the drought.
Yeah.
This woman is on the brink of losing everything.
She is.
But even in her desperation,
Yeah.
she offers Elijah water.
Oh, wow.
It's a simple act of kindness, but in that context,
Yeah,
it speaks volumes.
it does. It really does.
Even in the face of her own suffering, she's still able to see the needs of someone else.
Yeah, that's powerful.
And then Elijah asks for bread. And she explains her heartbreaking situation.
Right.
This is where the story takes a turn.
Ooh, I like turns.
The widow is about to give up,
Right.
but Elijah, trusting in God's promise,
Yeah.
asks her to make him a cake first.
A cake first? Are you kidding me?
He assures her that her flour and oil won't run out.
Whoa, hold on.
Can you imagine?
Now.
You're starving, about to cook your last meal,
Bro.
and a stranger asks you to feed him first.
Yeah,
That takes a level of trust that's almost unimaginable.
it does.
It does. It speaks to the profound faith both Elijah and the widow had. For Elijah,
Yeah.
it was trusting that God would keep his promise.
Right.
And for the widow, it was a leap of faith, choosing to believe in a stranger's words when everything around her pointed toward despair.
It really was.
It's not just a nice story.
No.
It's a reminder that divine provision often comes in unexpected ways.
Yes, it does. And it's also a testament to the power of obedience.
Oh, yeah.
The widow could have easily dismissed Elijah's request,
For sure.
but she chose to act on faith.
Yeah.
And that obedience led to a miracle.
Right.
Her jar of flour and flask of oil never ran empty throughout the drought.
Wow. It's like her obedience unlocked God's provision.
It is.
Not just for herself,
Right.
but for Elijah as well.
Yeah.
It's a powerful image of how faith and action can go hand in hand.
Exactly. And it highlights a concept that appears throughout Scripture. The idea that sometimes we need to take a step of faith before we see the full picture.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so we've got a prophet confronting a king,
Okay.
ravens delivering takeout,
Aha, I love it.
a seemingly endless supply of flour and oil. What happens next?
Oh, gosh. I don't know what could happen next.
Well, just when it seems like things are looking up,
Oh.
The story takes another unexpected turn.
Oh, no.
The widow's son falls ill and dies.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
Talk about a blow.
I know, after everything they'd been through, to
Yeah.
experience such a devastating loss.
Right.
It's almost too much to bear.
It is, and it raises a lot of questions.
It does.
Why, after showing such faith and obedience,
Yeah.
would this happen?
It makes you wonder.
Yeah, the widow even questions Elijah's presence,
Really?
wondering if he's brought this tragedy upon her.
I can't imagine the turmoil she must have been feeling.
No.
It makes you wonder about the nature of faith
Yeah,
and how we make sense of suffering,
right.
even when we believe in a loving God.
And remember, prophets weren't always seen as simply delivering good news.
Right.
They were often viewed as intermediaries between the divine and human realms,
Oh, that's interesting.
capable of channeling both blessings and curses.
Yeah.
So her fear and confusion makes sense in that cultural context.
They do. Yeah, it's like the story's asking us, how do you hold on to faith when the unthinkable happens?
Right.
It really makes you think about the limits of our own understanding.
It does. And in this moment of profound grief,
Yeah.
the widow turns to Elijah,
Okay.
questioning his role in her tragedy.
It's a raw human response.
It-
She's grappling with the pain of loss, trying to find someone or something to blame.
Yeah.
But what does Elijah do?
Elijah takes the child
Okay.
to the upper room, lays him on the bed, and cries out to God.
Wow.
He stretches himself out over the boy 3 times, pleading for his life to return.
It's an intense image, so full of raw emotion.
Yeah.
It's not a detached prayer.
No.
It's a desperate plea from someone who deeply cares for this child and this woman.
Exactly. And it speaks to Elijah's own faith.
Okay.
Despite the widow's accusations,
Yeah.
he doesn't waver.
Right.
He turns to the one source of power he knows can change the situation.
It's like he's saying, even when I don't understand, I trust.
Right.
And then the boy revives.
Yes.
Wow.
It's the first instance of resurrection recorded in the Bible.
Really?
A powerful testament to the potential for divine intervention in human affairs.
It's incredible.
It is. And it solidifies Elijah's status as a prophet who can connect with God on a profound level.
So we've had confrontations, hidden messages, miraculous provisions, and now a resurrection.
It's a great story.
This story's packed with action.
It is.
What's the significance of this miracle, not just for the characters, but for us, the readers?
Well, it's a powerful symbol of hope and renewal.
Okay.
This isn't just about one child's life being restored.
Yeah.
It's about the possibility of new beginnings, even in the face of what seems like utter despair.
Right.
It's a reminder that even when things seem hopeless, there's always the potential for restoration and healing.
It's a message that resonates through the ages, isn't it?
It's us.
That no matter how dark things get, there's always a glimmer of hope.
Right.
But it's not just a passive hope.
No.
It's a hope that's fueled by faith in action.
Right. It reminds me of the concept of cheesed in Hebrew, often translated as loving kindness or steadfast love.
Okay?
It's a love that's committed, unwavering,
Yeah.
even in the face of hardship.
Yeah.
We see that in the widow's initial act of kindness,
Right.
in Elijah's persistence, and ultimately in God's response.
I love that connection.
Yeah.
It's not just a random miracle.
No.
It's an expression of a deeper covenantal love that runs throughout the story.
It is.
So how does the widow react to this incredible turn of events?
She recognizes Elijah as a true man of God.
Wow.
It's a moment of profound transformation for her.
Yeah.
She moves from doubt and accusation
Right?
to a place of awe and understanding.
Imagine witnessing that kind of miracle. It would completely shift your perspective on everything.
It would.
Do you think this story is meant to be taken literally, or is there a deeper symbolic meaning at play here?
That's a great question, and there are different ways to interpret it.
Okay.
Some might focus on the historical accuracy, while others might see it as an allegory.
Okay.
For the power of faith and obedience, the beauty of these ancient stories is that they can speak to us on multiple levels.
Right. It's like there's something for everyone to take away, regardless of their background or beliefs. So we've talked about faith,
Yes.
obedience, provision, and even resurrection. But there's another theme that runs through this story that I think is worth highlighting.
Okay, what's that?
The idea of unexpected blessings.
Absolutely. Both Elijah and the widow received blessings they couldn't have anticipated.
Right.
Elijah found sustenance and support in a foreign land,
Yeah.
while the widow experienced the miracle of her son's resurrection.
That's amazing.
It's a reminder that sometimes the greatest blessings come when we least expect them,
Yeah.
often through acts of faith and obedience.
It's like the story is encouraging us to be open to the unexpected,
It is.
to trust that even when things seem bleak, something wonderful might be just around the corner.
Right.
And that sometimes those unexpected blessings come through other people, even strangers.
That's such an important point.
Yeah.
The story of Elijah and the widow highlights the interconnectedness of human lives.
Oh, for sure.
They both started as strangers,
Yeah.
but their paths crossed in a way that brought profound blessings to both of their lives.
That's right.
It's a testament to the power of human connection and the unexpected ways in which our lives can touch and transform one another.
You know, we often think about miracles as these grand supernatural events.
We do.
But what if, as you said, miracles are happening all around us in the seemingly ordinary moments of connection and shared humanity?
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about shifting our perspective, looking for those everyday miracles in the kindness of a stranger,
Right.
the support of a friend, or the unexpected joy that pops up in the midst of difficulty.
It's like we're being challenged to redefine what a miracle is, to see the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to recognize that we are all part of a larger story, one that's filled with possibilities for transformation and grace.
Okay, speaking of a larger story,
Yes.
we've been focusing on the widow and her son,
Uh-huh.
but let's circle back to Elijah's confrontation with Ahab.
Okay.
How does that initial act of defiance connect to the rest of the story?
Well, it sets the stage for everything that follows.
Okay.
Elijah's bold declaration against King Ahab and the prevalent idol worship
Right.
represents a turning point.
Okay.
It's a challenge to the established order, a call to return to the true God.
So the drought, the ravens, the widow, the resurrection,
Yeah.
they're all part of a bigger picture spiritual battle that's playing out on both a personal and national level.
Precisely.
Wow.
And the story of the widow and her son becomes a microcosm of that larger battle.
Okay.
It's about choosing faith over fear,
Right.
obedience over convenience,
Yeah.
and ultimately trusting that even in the midst of a drought, God can bring forth life and abundance.
It's a powerful message of hope and resilience,
Yeah.
one that's as relevant today as it was centuries ago.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it reminds us that even seemingly small acts of faith and obedience can have a ripple effect,
Right.
impacting not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us.
So where do we go from here?
Well,
We've uncovered so much already.
I know, it's a great story.
Hidden messages, theological concepts, even a resurrected child. What's left to explore in this incredible story?
Well, I think it's important to remember that the story doesn't end with the boy's resurrection.
Okay.
There's more to uncover, more to learn about Elijah's journey and the lasting impact of his encounter with the widow.
Right.
And perhaps most importantly, we need to consider how this ancient story speaks to our own lives,
Right.
our own struggles, and our own search for meaning and connection.
It feels like this story is prompting us to look beyond the surface and see the deeper connections, the ripple effects that extend outward from a single act of faith.
And it makes you wonder about the countless untold stories woven into the fabric of history. You know, we only get a glimpse of the widow's life.
Yeah.
But imagine the impact this encounter had on her community, the way her story might have inspired others to hold on to hope during those difficult times.
It's like a reminder that even in the midst of grand narratives, there are these intimate personal stories that are just as powerful, maybe even more so.
Absolutely. And those smaller stories often hold the keys to unlocking a deeper understanding of the bigger picture.
Okay, so we've talked about the widow's faith, Elijah's prophetic role, the miraculous provision. But as we wrap up, I keep coming back to the idea of resilience. Both Elijah and the widow faced incredible challenges, moments where it would have been easy to give up. What do you think their story teaches us about facing adversity with courage and determination?
Well, I think their resilience wasn't about stoicism or denying their pain. It was about choosing to believe even when circumstances felt overwhelming.
Right.
For Elijah, it was trusting that God would guide him, even when he was sent to a foreign land. And for the widow, it was holding on to hope, even when she was preparing to die with her son.
Like their faith wasn't a shield that protected them from hardship. It was a source of strength that helped them persevere through it.
Exactly. And their resilience wasn't a solo act. They supported each other, offering compassion and understanding in those moments of crisis. Remember, the widow offered Elijah water even when she had very little herself.
Yeah, she did.
And Elijah, in turn, prayed for her son's life, demonstrating a deep sense of empathy and care.
It highlights the importance of community, of leaning on each other. When times get tough, they didn't face those challenges in isolation. They faced them together. And I think that's a powerful message for us today.
It is. We're not meant to go through life alone.
Yeah, no.
We need each other's support, encouragement, and sometimes even a gentle nudge to remind us of our own strength and resilience.
Absolutely. So As we wrap up our deep dive into this remarkable story, what's the one takeaway you hope listeners will carry with them?
Well, I hope they'll remember that even in the midst of droughts, there are ravens delivering unexpected nourishment. Even when we feel like we're down to our last handful of flour, miracles are still possible. And most importantly, that faith, courage, and resilience are not solitary pursuits. They're best cultivated within a community of support and shared humanity.
Beautifully said, and I think it's fitting that we end with that image of community because ultimately this story isn't just about Elijah or the widow. It's about the power of human connection, the enduring strength of faith, and the reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope is never truly lost. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep believing in the possibility of miracles both big and small.